is going on, KinFolk? Welcome back to another Real Talk Thursday.
Yes. And today, for your viewing delight, we are going to talk about something a little different than what we've talked about before, and we are going to discuss intimacy. We may dibble and dabble in a couple different arenas of intimacy, may get a little on the sexual side, so if you're a super saint, feel free to log off. But we're just going to talk about ways to connect with yourself. We're not getting weird on y'all, so don't worry. Ways to connect with your partner and ways to have good feminine hygiene practices. So if you want to hear more about intimacy today on Real Talk Thursday, stay tuned. So, if you guys have watched our divorce series and our, season 1 of Real Talk Thursday, we kind of talked about sex. I talked about some of the wrong ideas I had about sex or just relating to men that stem from my childhood. So you have to have ways to combat that, to replace it with healthy ideas. Yes, for sure. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some ways that I feel like I've taken that journey. Shanna will talk about some ways that she feels like she's taking that journey to help us all get to a place where we are comfortable, secure, open, and honest about our feelings, about intimacy, and about our sexual health. I think one of the most important things to get to a place where you are comfortable with yourself and able to be comfortable with a partner, whether sexually or non-sexually, is to be comfortable with yourself. Absolutely. And your body. So one thing that I always am interested in when people talk about sex or sexual health is a lot of people are not well acquainted with their body, their physical body.
Yeah.
Y'all not taking no mirrors and checking no places out, and it shows.
It's true. It's true. I've always done that. Even when I was a teenager, I definitely had sex as a teenager, but I've always done that. Not to I'm so curious what it looks like, but if something felt off or if I had a yeast infection or something, I looked at it. I want to know, I want to see what's going on, so I'm aware.
And that is important. I think even at the doctor's office, if you have a good doctor, they will tell you that you need to be well acquainted with your body, because that is the best way to know if something is wrong. So, you should be touching yourself, touching your skin. You should be giving yourself breast exams. You should be looking at your vagina. It is not anything to be afraid of. It is not just a baby making factory.
Right.
Depending on what stage you're at in your life, it's going to be used for various different things. And you have to be aware of what's going on. If you are a person who does hair removal, so whether you do waxing, whether you shave, whether you do nair, or whatever the case may be, or whether y'all just out here 1980s, you need to check and see what's going on. Make sure you're not getting any ingrown hairs, and just making sure that your overall vaginal health is up to par where it needs to be. So, you're just going to get your little handheld compact mirror or your in-shower mirror, and you're just going to take
a little peeky peek.
You're going to take a little peeky peek at that pocketbook. And then go ahead and take a little peeky peek at what's going on in your nether regions, because you need to know.
You need to know.
A good thing, so whether you are having sex currently or not having sex, there's good parts about both of those journeys. So a really good thing to do when you're not having sex is to get to know what your body is like, especially what your vagina is like while you're not having sex. So what's your level of discharge?
Yeah.
What is the smell that you have? So that when you do get with a partner, sex can throw off your pH balance, and people got whatever things going on. So you want to know, what is your body like in a state of where it's just you? Right. For a while. So that's the best time to learn what's going on with your body, so that when you are with a partner,
especially if you're with multiple partners, that's, I feel like that is a tricky thing. You want to, that's especially important because you don't know what, you're with a lot of people, you don't really know what they have. You want to make
Right.
sure like they could be not as like you just don't know
For sure.
So that is I never really thought about it. I don't really I don't think about. I'm just very hygienic.
Right.
Like I'm kind of anal when it comes to like cleanliness and smells and things, but not everybody is like that.
Right. Not everyone's like that, and you don't know what another person, just because they always smell good when y'all go out.
Right. That's
because they done got together, but if you start really being around them, you may find that they have a different hygiene level than you, and you don't want them throwing you off. Even if you guys, if you have a partner, even if you and your partner are not having sex, you guys may be doing other things. You may be doing oral sex. They may even be just touching you. Okay, are their hands clean? Are they clean under their nails? Do they know what level of hygiene they need to have so that you guys are both safe and keeping your bodies, not a breeding ground for bacteria and germs and itchies and scratchies. So, one thing that I think is interesting, and I'm not trying to give too much away about myself, so I'll just take it back to when I was younger. This might be a safer way to tell the story. I was never taught by my mom or any woman that I knew about hair removal.
I wasn't either.
So I was just out here, like, I could cornrow my stuff. I could set it off.
How old are you talking?
I'm talking about once I got to the age where I was having sex. So 18.
You were like 18, 19?
19, yeah.
I was shaving it with a razor. Like, I had a special pair of clippers for that when I was that age.
I had nothing. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I knew about cleanliness, and I've always used, for me, and now you have to know what works for you, so that's why I say get to know your body. But I've always used like Summer's Eve wash, or some sort of feminine wash. I can't use like soap or body wash or anything like that, but I can't use just water. Like even sometimes at the doctor's office, they'll say the safest thing to do is to make sure like the inner and outer part of your vagina is just thoroughly cleansed with lukewarm water. But I have found that Summer's Eve wash is what works best for me. I've done had 3 kids. My body's active.
Yeah.
I mean, in and of itself is active. I ain't getting no action. But my body is active, and I just need something I feel like that makes me feel a little bit cleaner.
That's what they tell you?
Than water.
Just rinse with water?
I've heard different things. Okay. They say, now let me say to all y'all old school who might be still using douche or whatever you want to call it. That is not.
It's actually not. It's
safe.
Really bad. In high school, I used to douche a lot. Mm-hmm. I remember I douched twice in a week. And I got a yeast infection. Yeah. Like pretty much immediately. But there was one point, it was back in like 2011 or something, where I was working out like twice a day, and I was taking like 3-4 showers a day, like washing thoroughly. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting bacterial vaginosis from that because it threw off my pH balance. And I went to the doctor. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, I don't have an STD because I wasn't having sex.
Right.
But like, I was like freaking out because I'm like, what is this? And she said it's because, have you been over washing? Or and they did tell me not to use soap inside. Mm-hmm. I can't do that though. Yeah. Like I'm more careful now because I don't want to get that again because that was gross. But I can't just rinse with water.
No, I don't think I can either.
Awful,
I actually also, that happened to me with bacterial vaginosis when I first went to college. That's a hard word to say. Bacterial vaginosis. Because I actually took it wasn't even a swimming class because I don't know how to swim. But it was like a water aerobics type of scenario. Fun. And that whole, just with like the pool water.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm trying to think how my classes were. I think I wasn't able to shower like right away. I wasn't like going all the way to the end of the day, but I think it was like I had that class and maybe like another class, and then so sometimes I would try to just like clean off and everything. But yeah, so that threw me off too, and I thought the same thing. It was like, is this a STD? Now, I had just started having sex. This was my freshman year of college. And that's pretty much when I started having sex with the guy that I was dating. So I'm thinking like, oh Lord, I done got something.
Right.
But that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
BV.
And for those of you who don't know what bacterial vaginosis is, it's just when your body's pH levels are off balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a sexually transmitted disease. Although I think you can you get it from somebody? Or your body can respond to somebody?
Yeah, I
maybe?
think if your partner doesn't have, a certain level of hygiene, or maybe even if during the course of intercourse, if he ejaculates inside you and whatever the content of his bodily fluids are, if it doesn't jive with yours, it can also throw things off as well. The tricky thing is the medication that they give you for BV, it can be very similar to the medication that they give you for STDs.
Oh, really?
So sometimes people get weird about that, because if you're someone who like Googles, everything about everything, typing in for your medication, it's like chlamydia, so don't freak out about things like that. But obviously, if it's something going on in that area, the medications can help in all of those different phases. But BV is something that's different than having an STD. I feel like we really went down the rabbit hole there. But I said all that to say, so I really didn't know that much about grooming in terms of hair. And my ex-husband, I hate to tell anyone else's business. I'm not really telling his business. But I don't think that he liked it. But he never said anything about it.
He didn't?
No.
Was he open with you about like stuff he does like, or didn't?
We weren't really open in that way, unfortunately. I mean, obviously we had 2 children together, so we were open enough to bust some babies out. But it wasn't how it should have been, where you are intimate on an emotional level with your communication with what's important to you in regards to sex. So I was just out here clueless. He was really out there clueless. It wasn't until I got in a relationship with my son's dad that he actually was the one who, and he's such a kind and sweethearted person. He just asked me, I think he was like, how do I normally do? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just out here living bushy.
Did he ask you before or after you started having sex?
Before.
Oh, he did.
Like
okay.
Once we had gotten, I think we were, kissing and fooling around and whatever else the case may be. We may have even done oral sex, but we hadn't, had actual sex quite yet. And he asked me, he told me how he liked it, which he said not necessarily like, oh, you got to just be clean butt bare, but like just obviously lower. And to have your hair down lower is obviously easier for other things that gentlemen have to do. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm like, you the one that's got to be doing what you do, not me. So I was more than happy to respond to what he said. So I always appreciated that about him, because he said it in a very loving and caring way. Yeah. But I had literally never thought about it before, because no one had ever brought it up.
That's so interesting. Well, I guess because you grew up in a strict
my dad was super strict.
And super Christian?
No, not super Christian.
Just super strict.
Just super strict.
Okay. Yeah. See, I guess when I was younger, my best friend at the time probably wasn't the best influence. I mean, it's not that I didn't think about sex in like middle school and stuff, because I mean I feel like you're starting to feel things and get curious, and but I didn't have sex in middle school at all. But my best friend at the time and I, after school every day, would like go to Barnes and Noble and go to the sex section.
Okay.
And look at books and like read about like Kama Sutra and like
I was doing the same thing at that same age in middle school.
So I feel like I kind of learned by like reading those books and like doing that not every day, but like we went a lot, and like we were just super curious, Or she was probably more curious than me, but then I'm like, oh, okay, you know, naive, like just going through. So I think I feel like I learned that way, but I think I also just never liked the feeling of being bushy.
Mm-hmm. I was just like, insulation. I do think that like middle school is such a pivotal age. I have 2 middle schoolers right now, but my oldest daughter is getting ready to go to high school. And we have talked about sex, but I feel like even just with us talking now, I need to talk to her even more and really just keep the dialogue open, because it's so important as a young lady to feel empowered about your body and about sex. No matter what your choice is, you need to know why you're making the choices that you make, because society really feels like they have ownership to women's bodies and to women's sexuality, and a lot of times it's other people that write the narrative for how we're supposed to live our lives. And I don't want my daughters to feel that way, because you should never do anything out of guilt or shame or fear, whether you're having sex or not, because some people feel like that's what they have to do, and some people feel like I can't do that or I'm going to go to hell. Like,
especially this day and age, I feel like we're in a society now with social media. We didn't have that, and we still felt the way that we did. So I can't even imagine being a teenager now, and a young teenager now, and having all the other extra voices, and the music that the kids have access to. And I try to be pretty particular with not letting my kids, listen to crazy stuff or watch crazy movies, but it filters in. No matter what I do, no matter, I feel like what anyone can do if you're a parent out there. Even light sex scenes, make them feel like light sex scenes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's worth having that conversation with your kids. Now, in terms of just getting to know yourself and getting to know your body, like we've talked about, you need to look around, see what's going on, know what your body is like. And like I say, in terms of how active is your vagina? Do you have discharge of any sort? Do you have a smell of any sort? And I'm not saying that y'all got to be out here fishy, but I feel like your vagina has its own scent. Like every vagina has its own scent. So you need to know what that is so that you know if something is wrong. And then there's a lot of fads out there, and there's actually one fad that I've been wanting to try.
Is it the whole
it's the yoni steaming, yes, or even like a vaginal.
Is that what they call
it? A vaginal.
What is the point? Like, what is it supposed to do?
Well, okay, so I think those are 2 different things. So what I'm specifically interested in is yoni steaming. And I think it is just supposed to help. I feel like I'm going to be wrong. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments, and that's okay. It's just supposed to help with like the comfort. I think it actually helps even to be like more comfortable during sex. I think it helps with like elasticity. It helps with moisture levels. Like some people struggle with having vaginal dryness. So I think it helps with an array of different things, and it's literally just one of my another YouTuber that I watch, beautiful brown baby doll. Her name is Dr. Nina. She uses like a seat, almost like a, for older people when you got to go to the bathroom, and so it's like a toilet seat and it's like on legs, but she sits on that, and then she has like a bucket of water. You don't want cooked vagina on the menu. So you're not trying to boil your stuff away, but, warm enough so that it's like you're just sitting over it, and it's supposed to be, I think it's just really supposed to almost be like a spa type. Steam treatments are so good for your body in general and to detox and things of that nature. So I think it's supposed to have the same effect.
Do you put essential oils in it?
I think you can put, like, different places sell different things. Even, like, almost where it looks like a tea bag.
Okay.
So it has, like, herbs and, like, good beneficial stuff that's supposed to get up in there and make your cooch all magical. So I like for my stuff to be magical. So
now, do you go somewhere and have it done, or do you do it at home?
You do it at home.
Okay.
I don't know, you probably could go somewhere and
I'm sure they probably
but you do it at home.
Okay. So what is the difference between that and a vaginal?
A vaginal is more so caring for the skin of your upper, like, I don't even know if you want to call it like your pubis area, all that whole area. So especially if you wax or shave, it's just a way to exfoliate, make sure you're not getting ingrown hairs. Like different people have issues, especially for like for African American women, or if you have like really coily hair, anywhere on your body where you're going to do hair removal. Right. Some people are more prone than others to ingrown hairs, or just where your hair follicles, like, the child just don't want to act right.
Yeah, even like Travis, for example, he can't shave his chest because even if he exfoliates, he gets ingrown hairs and like leaves scars and stuff, which I didn't know that was really a thing. But I guess some women are like,
it's really a thing. I'm actually like that. I get hyperpigmentation a lot from just trying to shave or anything of that nature. I have it like under my arms, so I've been like doing different things to try to get it to lighten up or clear up, but everyone just has a different type of hair and skin and hair follicle configuration. So yeah, it's supposed to help with that, to keep your skin nice and smooth and clear.
Yeah, but if you do that yourself, right? Removal.
I think that you
do, because I exfoliate. I have like an exfoliator glove, and I shave. So, and I don't ever get ingrown hair because I exfoliate it every day and I shave every day. But you go and have that done? Where?
There's places here in the city.
Really?
That do it. Yeah.
Would you feel comfortable?
I think I would.
Really? I'm super modest. I don't know that I would be comfortable having someone rubbing up on my vajayjay.
I don't know. I just try. If it's something that I know I want to try, I'm willing to try it, and I just tell myself they've been looking at vaginas all day. So what's another one? But I think it's different. Like I said, obviously I'm black and Shanna is black, but she's biracial. So you can look at our hair and see that we have two different types of hair. So I am probably more prone to ingrown hairs because how coily my hair is. Versus how your hair is a little bit more fine in texture. Yeah. So even for me, exfoliating at times is not enough to help me to not get ingrown hairs. So I feel like that's why I've always chosen not to shave. I don't ever shave. I just keep it like a low fade.
Low fade, yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, because I'm like, that is just a problem that I just don't need. So to me, it's just easier to just keep it low and keep it moving. So y'all have to tell me in the comments, if you feel comfortable, what type of hair removal, do you use? How does it work for you? Or what have you tried? And if you've tried yoni steaming or vajacials.
Yeah, or would you? If you haven't, is that something that you would feel comfortable doing? I'm curious.
Yes. Now there's another thing that I don't think I want to try because it sounds scary, but if you've tried it, let us know. It's like detox pearls. So it's actually something that you put into your vagina and you leave it in for a certain amount of time during the day. And then when you pull it out, it's supposed to have like gunk. It's supposed to have drawn.
Are you
whatever
serious?
Like toxins? Yes.
Ew.
To it, and then you are supposed to pull it out.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That one I probably wouldn't try.
What kind of goes?
The stuff that's in your body, I don't know.
I'm not sure
your vagina is a self-cleaning oven.
Yes, it is.
And it's supposed to bake a perfect cookie if you just leave it alone. Yeah. So you don't want to do too much crazy, especially not internally.
Right.
So you can take care of your skin, you can take care of your hair, you can do things externally, but you really don't want to be putting a whole lot of stuff in your body unless you really kind of know what it is. So even like tampons or different things, if you've noticed that you just feel like your stuff ain't right, make sure that your tampon's not scented. Right. Or, because some, like, even panty liners and stuff like that have them like the fresh Caribbean breeze or whatever. The fresh Caribbean breeze may not be what your pocketbook wants.
That is true.
It may just want a straight unscented cotton sanitary situation. Right. I know that there are websites and things of that nature that sell feminine products where everything is like organic. So it's like organic cottons and organic materials and stuff like that. So if you really want to do some research and figure out like, okay, there's something that's off. And I know something that people do get embarrassed about sometimes. I had a friend that very, very often was getting yeast infections. I mean, it just became like a way of life. Some people, that does just happen to them. So you have to be even more mindful and more vigilant about what's going on down there. You want to make sure, this is a tried and true that I think everyone's probably heard, but you always want to pee right after sex. Yeah. You're supposed to go pee because when, obviously for men, everything is external. So what happens when that happens is bacteria can go into our, urinary tract, which is how you end up with a UTI because they're bringing things and it's traveling upwards. So you should always pee after sex and just make sure you're drinking lots and lots of water. Now that brings us to foods. Now we all know how foods can have an effect on your lady parts. Yes. If you don't know, you're about to find out, and you better do some research because it can be beneficial in a very good way. So I know a lot of girlfriends that I have talk about the powers of like eating pineapple. There are different foods that can help your vaginal health, help the smell of your vagina, help the taste of your vagina. If you have a partner and you guys are sexually active, or if you have a husband or whatever that you have, if you're doing the do, make sure it tastes like honeydew. So right. So there are different things. You can do some research about that. I know that pineapple is one of them. I want to say peaches. I want to say anything that is...
I feel like acidic fruits are probably more powerful.
Yes. So it doesn't have to be like you sit and eat a bowl of lemons. Acidic to a certain point. Right. Like pineapples or like mandarin oranges and things of that nature. So that's something that you guys can check out too. Now, probably the biggest thing, now we're kind of going away from the sexual. So Super Saints, go ahead and turn your volume back on. Turn your volume back on. But I'd say the biggest thing is comfort with your partner. Right. So before you get to the point that you're going to be having sex with someone, you guys need to be having some conversations, man.
And even if you do feel like you want to wait until marriage to have sex, I feel like those conversations are still so important. If not more important, because you don't even, I trust the Lord and everything, but I've been married and the sex was horrible. So it's like, that was some scary stuff. Like, to be married to somebody where you do not have the chemistry. Right. And we had the talks. We didn't have, like, detailed talks, but those conversations are really, really important.
Absolutely. The Lord gives us common sense. Right. So, whatever it is that you choose to do on your sexual journey. Right. You have to be an active participant in crafting the life that you want.
Exactly. Especially if you're not a virgin. Like, if you're a virgin, okay. I get, maybe it's uncomfortable, you learn together. But most of us aren't, let's be honest. And if you're not, you've experienced some things. And, there are certain things that are negotiable for you, and there are certain things that are non-negotiable for you, at least for me. Yeah. But there are some things that, if someone is not okay with, or something that they want that I'm not okay with, then... Yeah. We need to know that.
Yeah. You should be asking. I remember asking in my last relationship, what's your, fantasy? What's the thing that you want to do? I'm not going to tell y'all what he said because that's his own private business. But it's what's the thing that you want to do that you either never really tried or never told anyone, kind of like that taboo thing. Because
we all have one.
We all have one.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Yeah. Those of you who might feel a little uncomfortable about it.
There was a docu-series of some sort on Netflix that was all about sexual topics. And it was more so informative than anything. But they were saying that everyone has some sort of fantasy. Usually for most people, it's either multiple partners or sex in a public place. It's like one or the other. Some of y'all super freaks want to have different people in on the scenario. And then some of us are just like, we don't care if the neighbors are watching. Leave the curtains open.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so let's go a little deeper here. What do you feel about multiple partners?
I have never experienced it, but I have thought about it. I think I wouldn't do it now for various reasons. But there was a time in the past that I would have done it. It just so happened that I didn't ever end up doing it. But I definitely thought about it. But here's the thing. I would want me and two guys.
Right.
Most guys are not going to want another guy. Like, guys think that it's like there has to be a guy and two girls.
Right. Guys.
But I don't want another girl.
Yeah. I've never had the desire to do that. I don't even think I've ever really thought about doing that. I had a boyfriend one time. Well, he wasn't actually a boyfriend. He was somebody years ago that I was talking to who wanted to do that. Who said he wouldn't be opposed to that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no.
You're like, no. I would be opposed to that.
I would be opposed to that. Like, I mean, if you had to choose what scenario, obviously two guys. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be such a turnoff on so many levels. For me, it's I don't think I'd ever be able to look at myself the same. I don't think I'd ever be able to look at myself the same. Plus, people talk.
I think I would be like, hey, self.
Hey, self. I don't think I would ever. I think I would be like, oh, mirror.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it depends on, you have to walk your own journey. You have to know why you're doing something or not doing something.
And don't do it because someone is asking you to do it.
Absolutely not.
Like I said, I've had someone who wanted to do that or was okay with doing, kind of insinuated that that's something that they wanted to do. And I'm like, hell no. Like, hell no. But if that's something that you feel like you want to do and it's a desire of yours, then that's between you and your partner and the Lord.
Because he's going to know. He's going to be there too.
He's going to be there too. Let's be honest, you know. But if it's not something that you truly, truly want, do not ever let anybody convince you or manipulate you into doing something that you are not comfortable with. Even if it's something like a sexual position or something. Do not ever let anyone make you feel like you have to do that in order to be with them. If that's what they're asking you to do and you're not comfortable, then they're not for you.
Yeah, for sure. That is very true. And I think part of the reason why I never had that experience in the past is because I actually never had a guy who ever brought it up. And I'm like, I ain't going to bring it up so you can think I'm some sort of super freak. But it was something I thought of. So, obviously then it's like I grew up and I became a mom and stuff like that. And them days it's over, y'all. I ain't trying to be out here like that. But y'all know if y'all watch season 1 of Real Talk Thursdays, in one of our other videos, y'all may have heard me talk about the sex container. Mm-hmm. So mine is pretty much at the top. So whenever I do get, a person that hopefully I will be married again, somewhere along the spectrum of that journey, in my mind, I want to wait until I get married again. Right.
I was just about to ask you how you feel about that now.
I don't know. I think it is hard when you are not a virgin, like you said,
and when you're in your late 30s,
sex, and you've already had kids and everything, and it's like this thing is a well-oiled machine,
right?
So that is the goal. I'll say that right now. That is the goal. It's something that I'm striving for, and I'm just going to see how that plays out. I'm not going to psych myself out about it. Right. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. But whoever that person is, I hope he's very open-minded. And I hope he's ready for some long nights.
All right now. Lucky
man. Right? I feel like, obviously, sex is something that God created, for husbands and wife, for those of you that makes you feel more comfortable. But it has a purpose, a specific purpose of uniting two people in a way that no other act can. Yeah. And as much as I feel like it's deep and it's spiritual and it's sacred, I also feel like it's fun, and it's you should be
sure.
able to explore, and you should be able to just be open, and hey, for y'all super saints, the marriage bed is undefiled, so that means you're supposed to be going hard in paint.
Right, have fun, right? Yeah.
So it's like y'all can't be scared, and that doesn't happen because you get married.
Right. It sure doesn't.
You have to mentally, confidence-wise, emotionally, you have to already be kind of groomed to think that way so that you can give the best parts of yourself to your partner. Spirituality, and like I said, we're both Christians, but it's not a magic wand for, because I'm a Christian now, everything is just going to go perfectly. You have to put in a certain level of effort, and it's the same for your sexual health. It's the same for your intimacy with your partner. You're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to watch some videos. Yeah. You're going to have to listen to your Dr. Ruth or whatever you want to do. I'm showing my age on that one, but
I feel like it's almost more, you have to be more intentional once you get married.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like I feel like a lot of it is psychological. Like, they're with you, they're yours, you get lazy.
Yep, that's true. And I think that's a complaint that men have often about women once they get married. The man is like, I ain't even getting none. Right. Now, I mean, I think statistically speaking, that it really is kind of how it goes, and I'm not saying that that's the reason, but when you look and you see how different our world is with now people not necessarily getting married, some men are feeling like, well, what's the point? You go try to marry me, and then all of a sudden, I'm not going to get what I came here for.
A lot of guys feel that way. That's true.
So, you have to be fair to your partner. It's not just about your needs and your wants, and you have to be fair to that gentleman or whoever it is that you're pledging your life to. If you know that you guys are going to be together and ride this thing out,
because you two become one.
Yeah.
Which means your body, even though it's yours, it belongs to him too.
Yeah.
You belong to each other.
For sure. And that's when you have communicated and when you feel like it's a safe space, that's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
Some of y'all need to start turning some lights on. It don't have to be pitch black, the darkest night, and y'all underneath the covers to get something done. Let somebody see your face. Let them see them facial expressions.
You know
see
what? Your body, even if you're not comfortable with it, I'm sure he loves your body the way it
look
is.
at your own body. Yeah. Sometimes, especially for those of us, I'm putting myself in there, part of the hamburger committee, where your weight kind of just fluctuates, and maybe you got a little soft spot here, a little stretch mark there. Look at your body in the mirror. Yeah. Be comfortable. Walk around to the extent that you can, depending on who's in your household and what's going on. Walk around naked. Be free.
Be free.
Be yourself. Love yourself. And as your comfort level and your confidence with yourself rises, your weight does not have to go down. Nothing has to change about you but your thought process of yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm super guilty of insecurity. Like, I swear I have body dysmorphia, but
I think she does.
But I've had a hard time over the years with that. But it's true. I mean, you really have to get to a point to where you feel free in that way. Like, we are who we are, no matter what your weight is. If you're on a fitness journey, like, just love yourself at every stage.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to myself too.
Yes,
but it is very important.
Because you guys saw in another video when we took our girls trip to Dallas. This one was trying to cover up when we was at the pool with them swimsuits. I was like, y'all about to get all this muffin top.
I took it off.
Bam!
Made me feel comfortable. I don't know why. Because I look at other people who have similar body or bigger than me, and I'm like, man, you are rocking that bathing suit. You look good. And I don't know why. I just can't. I'm working on it. I can. I'm just, it's all up here.
We're going to get it.
We're going to get there.
Travis is going to get you the cat.
Like, honestly, though, like, and your partner, if you have someone who makes you, and I've been, like, my ex-husband made me feel like shit. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I know you guys don't like cussing, but he made me feel like shit about my body.
Yeah.
I looked so good too.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was so fat and disgusting with him because he made me feel that way. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're with someone, I'm just going to throw this out there for those of you, because I feel like there are a lot of guys who are like that out there. You know, not all guys are like that, obviously, but if you are with somebody who's like that, he's not for you either.
Right.
Like, you need to be with someone who makes you feel like you are the most beautiful woman in the world. And that's one thing I can say about Travis, like, so far. And who knows, like, I hope we stay together, but if we don't, like, he is just a great learning experience for me because he makes me feel like I am so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Where you are so beautiful. So I know y'all looking like I'm looking like, okay, girl. But I 100% understand. Yeah. I 100% understand. I've been there. Like, I definitely understand. But yeah, it's just how you feel about yourself. You just have to get to a place where you love yourself. Be patient with yourself. Yes. Be nice to yourself. Compliment your own self. Because it's easier for other people's narratives to get into our mind when we're not sure how we feel about ourselves. So, you know, don't give that a foothold or an opening to getting, you know, go ahead and while you're drying off and putting your lotion on, be like, ooh, hey girl. Yeah. Yeah. Soft, smooth skin. Yeah. Yes, boobs. Yeah. Yes, everything. Yes, booty. I don't care. Yes, booty. You know I'm booty queen.
You are booty queen. This girl, she's got a shelf booty like I'm like, dang, I wish I had your butt.
I get it from my mama.
Man.
But no, guys, like, I'm glad that we had this talk. We wanted it to be fun and lighthearted, but really take some of the things that we said to heart. Just get in touch with yourself. Know what's going on. No matter where you are in your journey, if you're a virgin, if you're sexually active, if you're celibate, if you're waiting again for marriage, whatever you're doing, or if you're somewhere in between on that spectrum, just know yourself, love yourself, be patient with yourself, find someone that you can be open and intimate with, and watch your life unfold. Yes. Like a flower.
Like a flower. The flower that you are.
So corny.
On that note, thank you guys for joining us. It was fun as usual. Yeah. And we will have, we'll have more conversations like this if you guys like it. So let us know what you think about this video in the comments. And if you have any suggestions that, you know, videos that are kind of on this spectrum, let us know.
We're trying to be real with y'all this season.
Yeah, really. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Like, I know, like, we're Christian, and there's a lot of you who are, you know, who love the Lord and are living for God. But, you know, if we're being really honest here, like, a lot of us don't know how we feel about the whole waiting till marriage thing. Like me, whether you're supposed to be having sex or not, like a lot of us are, and like this stuff is still really important. Yeah, you know, even if you really, your heart really wants to wait, but you feel like you can't. Like let's just be honest about it. Let's not be ashamed. I feel like there's so much shame, and including me. I was nervous to do this video because I was like, you know, I was honest with you guys in the past about how I felt about premarital sex. And a lot of you guys disagreed, but like now I'm in a relationship and, you know, I still feel the same way about it that I did before. And now it's even harder to wait because I actually have somebody who I really like. And, you know, let's just be real, raw and honest. So that's what we want to do this season.
And everything that we said in this video is really universal because it's not necessarily even about sex itself. Right. It's about your mindset, you being firm in what you believe no matter what it is, and you just being comfortable enough with yourself to take your sexual life to another level whenever you get there. So if you're not having sex now, eventually, you know, if that's in the cards for you or if that's in a part of God's plan for you, if you do get married, it's still something that's important that you're going to have to address and feel comfortable with. Don't wait until then to try to do it. Absolutely. Get to know yourself now. If you haven't already started on that journey, the kit that we need y'all to go out and get is the mirror. So you know what the mirror is for. Rewind to the beginning of the video if you done forgot. You need to go get you some lotions or some oils or something like that. Get acquainted with your skin. Know what's going on. Figure out what you want to do in regards to your hair removal. How do you want to do? Low buzz. You want to be baby smooth, whatever you want to do.
Hardwood floors, you want carpet.
You want men wax on the thing. Just figure out what you want to do and let that be a confidence booster for you, so that whenever you're ready, you're like, I've been working on myself and I got the whole package and I'm finna put it on you.
Amen, sister. All right. Well, thank you for watching. On that note, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next Real Talk Thursday.
Bye.